In a quaint little town nestled between rolling hills and a crystal-clear river, there lived a man named Daniel. He was an ordinary man, with a loving wife, Sarah, and two adorable children, Lily and Ethan. Daniel worked as a teacher in the local school, and his family was the center of his world. One warm summer day, while he was grading papers in a cozy cafe, a stranger walked in. Her name was Eliza, and she was unlike anyone he had ever met. With hair that cascaded down her back like a waterfall and eyes the color of a deep, mysterious ocean, she was the embodiment of temptation. As fate would have it, Eliza approached Daniel's table, her smile radiant enough to eclipse the sun. Her laughter was enchanting, and her stories were mesmerizing. It wasn't long before Daniel was spending more and more time with Eliza, and less with his own family. One fateful evening, after weeks of secret rendezvous, Daniel made the unthinkable decision. He told Sarah that he was leaving her and the children to be with Eliza. The pain in Sarah's eyes was unbearable. But Daniel was convinced that he had found his true soulmate in Eliza, and he couldn't resist the allure of this mysterious woman. With a heavy heart, he packed his bags and moved into Eliza's charming cottage on the outskirts of town. It was isolated, surrounded by dense woods, and had an eerie stillness that sent shivers down his spine. But for the sake of love, Daniel was willing to endure anything. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Daniel's life with Eliza took a dark and unexpected turn. Eliza's once charming demeanor began to unravel, revealing a possessive and jealous nature. She forbade Daniel from leaving the cottage or making contact with anyone from his past, especially his family. She had a strange power over him, and he felt powerless to defy her. Meanwhile, back in the town, Sarah was left to pick up the pieces of her shattered life. She struggled not knowing how to explain to Lily and Ethan why their father had abandoned them. She tried her best to provide for them, taking on multiple jobs and seeking solace in the support of her friends and family. As the months turned into years, Daniel's regret began to gnaw at him. He missed his children's laughter, the warmth of his family's love, and the simple joys of everyday life. He longed to hold Lily and Ethan in his arms and apologized to Sarah for his unforgivable betrayal. But Eliza's grip on him was unrelenting, and he dared not cross her. One day, as he sat alone in the cottage, the realization hit him like a thunderbolt. He had traded his loving family for a life of confinement and control. Late one night, when Eliza was asleep, Daniel gathered his courage and sneaked out of the cottage. The moon was a silver sliver in the sky, and the woods around him were shrouded in darkness. He had to find his way back to his family. He knew that he had hurt his family deeply, and he wasn't sure if they would ever forgive him. But he had to try. With trembling hands, he knocked on the door of his old home. The door swung open, and there stood Sarah. Tears welled up in her eyes as she looked at the man who had abandoned her and their children. Finally, Sarah spoke in a voice filled with equal parts anger and longing. "Why are you here, Daniel? I let myself be blinded by something that wasn't real. I abandoned you and our children for a fantasy, and I've come to beg for your forgiveness." Sarah's anger softened, but her eyes remained guarded. "It's not that simple, Daniel. You hurt us deeply. I know, Sarah, and I'll do whatever it takes to make things right. I'll do whatever it takes to rebuild our family." Time passed, and the wounds in the Thompson family began to heal. Daniel's unwavering commitment to his wife and children slowly mended the torn bonds of trust and love. Sarah had initially been hesitant to let Daniel back into their lives, but his sincerity and remorse gradually wore down her defenses. Family therapy played a pivotal role in their journey to reconciliation. Through open and honest conversations, they addressed the pain Daniel's departure had caused and the lingering scars it left behind. Lily and Ethan, though still marked by the memory of their father's abandonment, yearned to have him back in their lives. One evening, as the sun set over their small town, the Thompsons sat together in their cozy living room. Daniel held Sarah's hand tightly, a symbol of his unwavering commitment to their family. Lily and Ethan played with their toys on the floor, their laughter filling the room with joy. Sarah finally broke the silence that had hung between them for so long. "We can't change the past, but we can choose our future. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you and the kids." As the days turned into weeks, Daniel worked tirelessly to rebuild the trust he had shattered. He became a more present father, attending every school event, helping with homework, and teaching Lily and Ethan life's valuable lessons. He never missed a chance to express his love for his family, understanding the depth of their resilience and forgiving him. During this time, Lily, now a teenager, found solace in her father's presence. They often spent hours talking about life, dreams, and the importance of second chances. Ethan, too young to fully grasp the complexities of their family's history, embraced his father with the unconditional love that only a child can provide. As for Daniel and Sarah, they both worked diligently on their relationship. Through open communication and a commitment to change, they gradually learned to love each other anew. One sunny afternoon, as the family enjoyed a picnic in the park, Sarah leaned against Daniel, feeling the warmth of his presence. Daniel smiled, his eyes reflecting the genuine happiness he felt in that moment. "You gave me a second chance, and I'm determined not to squander it." Their love story, once on the brink of ruin, had been salvaged through determination, forgiveness, and a deep understanding of the value of family. The Thompsons became an inspiring example of resilience and redemption in their tight-knit community. Years passed, and Lily and Ethan grew into young adults with bright futures ahead. Lily had a passion for art, while Ethan excelled in science and mathematics. Daniel and Sarah watched with pride as their children pursued their dreams, offering unwavering support every step of the way. Lily was accepted into an art program at a prestigious university in New York City. Ethan also received a scholarship to study engineering at a top university. Despite the trials they had faced as a family, they had emerged stronger and more united than ever before. As the years went by, the echoes of regret that had haunted Daniel began to fade into the background. He had learned the hard way that true love and family were priceless treasures that should never be taken for granted. He had been given a second chance, and he had made the most of it. In the end, Daniel found his true happiness not in the arms of a stranger but in the embrace of his loving family. And as he held Sarah's hand, watching their children's laughter fill the air, he knew that he had found his place in the world, a place where love, forgiveness, and redemption could heal even the deepest wounds of the heart.